All right, so today we are going to get back into Inventor. Inventor is the program that we use for our modeling software. We talked a little bit about it the other day. It's going to be kind of an interesting day because I do have some guided notes because there are some things that you need to look at and see. However, you are not going to do the notes exactly like they are laid out. You're not going to write everything you see on the PowerPoint simply because some things are really important and some things are not. So what I need you guys to do is go ahead and go to your My Work tab. In there you're going to find a sheet or a page in there that says Computer Modeling Fundamentals. Yep, right? So it's going to look like this right here. I don't know why PLTW always calls things fancy stuff, why they couldn't just say Autodesk stuff. I don't really know. Yep, so sorry for the interruption. Why they don't call it Autodesk stuff, I don't really know. Now, a lot of this sheet that we have, and it's several pages long, maybe, there we go. For you guys that'll lag. It's several pages long. You're not going to do a lot of it. And really what I would do if I were you is find this page right here. You can use your stylus if you want, or you can type over it. It's entirely up to you. I will tell you, if you use your stylus, use your zoom function. So 2 fingers together, pinch, and open them up. Zoom that in so you can kind of see this a little bit closer. The other thing you guys can do, up here in this corner, this is the full screen. So if I click this right here, that's going to give me even more space. We're going to go through some of these things. Some of it we will use, some of it we will not do. Please just stay with me. If I point to something and it's not on this page right here, you're going to have to draw it in, meaning you'll have to circle it and make a new line. Is that you get that? All right. Sorry for the disruption. Like, they want to talk to you about a lot of things and some things that I feel we don't really need. So I'm going to actually open up Inventor here, and you guys can start to see this is this really crazy program. This is a very wonderful program. It's very complex. This is actually a professional version. This is well over $1,200 if you wanted to buy this program on your own. Good news, we got it all on these computers. It wasn't free by any means, but we definitely paid for it in one way or another. So this is the home screen. When we get to the home screen and you open it up, the first time you turn it on, it's going to ask you things like, do you want to be a part of the registry or something? No, you don't. It might show you, hey, do you want to watch all these videos or do you want to start working? We want to start working. But after you do that, it's pretty much done. The way this is laid out, you can see we've got some options for new. In Inventor, you have 4 different things that you can start for brand new. You can make a part, which means you're making an individual piece. You know, when I talked to you and showed you the monkey bars, each handlebar is one piece. That's one part. The sides and all that stuff, that's another part. You can assemble them and put things together, which is how you get these stuff on the bottom. You can get a drawing, which is something we won't do as much, and then a presentation. So you can actually make pieces and make a presentation of those pieces, how they would fit together, how they would work, how things move, how things would slide, how they're constrained, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and just go to a new part for right now. A couple things you need to know. First, if you look in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see an orange eye. There's also an arrow going to it. So right up there, that is the application menu. You can type that in, write that in, app menu, whatever you want. It is the equivalent of file and Word, PowerPoint, whatever. If I click on it, that's where my main things that I would need, like save, save as, print, stuff like that. So if I click on it, or click that little arrow next to it, it's going to open up and looks a lot like Word. So new, open, save, save as, export. These are some recently opened things. When we get down into the manage and workflow and iProperties, we don't use that, so you don't need to worry about it. But that's where you're going to want to go when we go to save things. So that orange eye in the top left-hand corner is our app menu. So app menu should be pretty self-explanatory. Also, just a heads up, your picture on your worksheet is from Inventor 2015. You guys will use 2016. It's mostly the exact same thing, but there's some slight changes. Just do the best you can. Okay? So when we open up Inventor, it looks a lot like the Office stuff that we normally use every single day. You can see you have some quick tools up here up at the top. So save, open, undo. This button, our Control-Z, are your absolute best friend in Inventor. If you don't know how to use Control-Z, you better figure it out real fast, because you will make 100,000 mistakes on this program. Control-Z is the fastest way to fix it. Okay? Or you can just come up here and go to undo. Also, right next to the orange eye, and you guys, I realize it's hard to see, but you'll see the new button. This is the fastest way to create a new part. So if you're putting together multiple parts, you can just come up to this white sheet of paper, hit that little down arrow, and go straight to part, and you got a new space. It's actually really helpful. Other than that, this box right here that I'm going across, this like whitish light gray, this is called the ribbon. Make sure you have that on there. The ribbon is where all your tools are. It's also called a toolbar. So right in here, this is my ribbon. Above that ribbon are my ribbon tools. So I can actually just switch between, nope, not that, I don't want that. I can actually switch between multiple tools. And guys, when we get into this stuff, I'll be honest, I know maybe 10% of this program. Maybe 10%. Probably not. Probably closer to like 2%. So a lot of these other fancy tools and stuff in here, I have no idea. Like, why would I convert something to sheet metal? Why would I mold, whatever, stress analysis? We spend most of our time in the Sketch tab or the 3D Model tab, and then there's ribbons. In the ribbons, you will notice, just like in Word, there are panels. So I have the Format panel, the Insert panel, Constrain, Pattern, Modify, Create, Sketch. You want to know where these are? Just so if I say, hey, go to your Modify panel, you know I got to look for Modify down here, and then I'm going to look in there. Okay? If I say go to your Create panel, go there, I know Create's right over there, and I'm there. All right? So you got to know those things. Next, over here, this white box on the left-hand side. This is called your browser. This right here. And the reason that the browser is really important is it tracks all of your stuff. So if you have multiple sketches, multiple extrusions, multiple things, you can see everything that you have. All of your constraints, everything. And the reason it's nice to be able to see is that if I have to go back and make a change, instead of starting over, I could just go and edit the original sketch. And I know that probably doesn't make sense to you now, but it will when you get into it. Trust me, it'll be way easier. Yeah. It is your history, basically, yeah. You're just seeing how you built it from start to finish. There are times in certain assemblies you'll have this entire thing filled. Okay? And especially when you get into some pieces that have 150 parts, you're going to want to be able to find that thing. So that's that. The next thing, right over here, in the right-hand corner, kind of, this is called your viewing cube. What's cool about the viewing cube is it's how we look at things. So we are in a three-dimensional program, right? So I take this box. Here's my cube. If I want to look at something from the front, it's right here. But with this cube, if I wanted to look at this side, I click on that side, it'll turn. So now I'm looking at the object from the side. If I click back here, it's the back. Up here, it will turn and go to the front. And this is really helpful. So let me just do a box here real fast. I'm just going to make a quick box here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so now I've got an object, and let's say, so I know this is my top, these are my front, my sides. If I look at my viewing cube, it's now turned slightly. So if I want to look at the front and I click front, it's going to turn it so I can look at the front. If I want to look at the top of it, I can turn it so now I'm looking at just the top. If I want to look at the bottom, I just turn it around. Now I'm looking at the bottom. Remember, if we're working on something in actual 3 dimensions, we're going to have to do things all the way around. Okay? We're not just using one face. This home button up here is also really handy because there will be times when you're all sorts of messed up and you don't know which way's up. Just hit your home button and it will rotate it back for you. You'll notice I can also grab the cube and move it. It's called a free rotate, however I want. Whee! Okay? Hit home, and I'm right back to where I need to be with the top being up and the front being in the front. Okay? So the viewing cube, very, very handy. Next thing, over here, and I wish I could zoom in on this. This is your navigation window. In there are 2 really important buttons. This first one is called the pan. Sometimes what happens when you're an inventor, you'll be looking at something and your window moves. So it might look like this. All of a sudden my object is no longer in the center of my screen. Some people can work like this. I can't. My OCD kicks in and I freak out. So what you can do is you come over here, you grab the hand and just click and hold, and you can drag it right back into the center. Okay? You're literally just panning your window to put whatever you want back in the center. The other one on here is a little magnifying glass. And you'll notice in the magnifying glass, just underneath of it, there is multiple options. So I could zoom into one piece, I could zoom all, zoom to the full window, or zoom just a selected area. We use the zoom all, because what that does is it just recenters everything. So if I'm right out here and I zoomed out, I hit zoom all, it's going to bring it right back in so I can see my whole object. If I'm zoomed in on something, I hit zoom all, it brings it right back. You will use zoom all a lot. I promise you. I wish I had enough mice. I wish I had enough mice to give you because you're going to want one and it sucks for you. Especially one with the trackball, because then I can go in and out very easily. And you will zoom in and out often. But it sucks to be you guys. This other one is called a free rotate. It just allows me to spin in any way, shape, or form. So sometimes what happens if you've got different angles you want to see, you can really get it quite specific. So that's that box. Super important. This is like the navigation bar. So just know if I tell you to pan or zoom all, they're right there. I don't care what you write down in your notes, but make sure you have pan and zoom all, because you're going to use it a lot. Other than that, all right, well, whatever. Let's go ahead and just try this program. What I want you to do, go ahead and close out your OneNote. And on your desktop, you're going to see it's like an orange eye. Go ahead and double click on that, and we're going to open up Inventor. AutoDesk Inventor 2016. Yep, that's it. And we're going to play around on this. And I'm actually going to quit the video because the next part, I actually already have a video that does what I'm about to tell you. So